All right. John Lemon. Hopefully you're out there. Hopefully somebody's out there. I had a feeling this might be embarrassing. Let's check some tools out here. Okay. Hey, I'll be darned. This is the first live stream. I didn't even know that I could do it. We should just get into this. Well, what we're going to talk about today is obscene generational wealth and power. Hey, rain cry. Obscene generational wealth and power and what that can do to you. Let's just jump right in and hopefully some more people will show up. But as we know, wealth is, hey, rain cry, wealth is something that we all dream about. We all strive for it. That the means to go out and get whatever it is that we need, like a tool or a machine that makes life easier, provides some form of comfort. But with an obscene amount of wealth and power, things that simply make life possible or easier most likely just don't cut it anymore. At a certain point, material things will get very old. Imagine if you were royalty. Say you're a fourth or fifth generational monarch from, say, ancient Babylon or medieval Europe. Your great-grandfather could have had anything that he wanted. Your grandfather could have had anything he wanted since birth. Your father had everything he wanted since birth. At some point, the acquisition of material things will, and did so in the past, will eventually lead to the purchase and the outright enslavement of actual human beings. It's no secret that these powerful kings and queens of the past regularly used slaves for many things like major civic building projects or farming or cleaning upkeep of the castles, and of course harems for when the lights go down at night. Many of these slaves were citizens of the realm who may have been convicted of a crime, but many more were brought in from conquered lands, spoils of war. Human trafficking, you guys, in ancient art, probably first done by these privileged monarchs many millennia ago. Today's billionaires, honestly, could be considered oligarchs. Hey, man, somebody left. Today's monarchs could be considered oligarchs in today's fascist world that we're living in, holding similar wealth and power that these old monarchs had. In fact, many of these oligarchs today coming from the bloodlines of these old monarchs, having been put in these top positions in the current world order of the time by the forces in control behind the scenes. Recent studies have shown that the more money you have, the more likely you are to suffer from depression and other mental health illnesses. Therapist for the super rich, Clay Cockrell, who has dozens of multi-billionaire clients, poses this question. He says, what would it be like if you couldn't trust those close to you? Or if you looked at any new person in your life with deep suspicion? He says he hears this from his clients every day. Things like, what do they want from me? Or how are they going to manipulate me? Or they're probably only friends with me because of my money. He goes on to say that then there are the struggles with purpose, the depression that sets in when you feel like you have no reason to get out of bed. Why bother going to work when the business that you built, or in many cases with these scumbags today, a business that they inherited, runs by itself now? What do you got to get out of bed for? If all of your necessities and much more were covered for the rest of your life, you might struggle with a lack of meaning and ambition in your life too. He goes on to say that his clients are often bored with life, and too many times this leaves them to chasing the next high, whether chemical or otherwise. You see, this is what I'm talking about right here. When a person can have any material thing that they want, they get bored. And on a side note, I was able to experience something similar myself. I had some successful businesses. I wasn't a millionaire or billionaire. However, I was doing millions in multi-millions in gross sales per year. And as I ascended in the business world, I became bored and kept looking for more, as is the nature of business today. And I eventually sought out and began purchasing local city council members, local politicians, through campaign donations in order to get rules and regulations changed to advance my goals. I eventually came to my senses, but I feel that I must share that as it shows some personal experience with this phenomenon, giving me better perspective to give to you guys. But using the example laid out earlier about, say, a fifth generation monarch from ancient Babylon or medieval Europe being born into and having anything you wanted and having everyone do anything you tell them to do, that is to say that you could call a citizen into the court and make them do jumping jacks, or make them bow to you, or make them kiss your ring, or even make them kill for you, as that occurred many times throughout the history. Just look at the Crusades as one example. But using this example and then extrapolating that into today's world, we see very wealthy children start out by going to elite boarding schools. They move on to elite universities, develop a language and a culture among their own kind. Rarely do they create friendships with non-wealthy people or non-royalty. It can lead to a feeling of isolationism and being trapped inside of a bubble, an echo chamber of privileged billionaires hearing only billionaire stuff. Don't worry, guys, I'll get better with the live chat because I just missed somebody's comment. Now I can't find it again. So they're only hearing billionaire stuff. They're not ever hearing anything about the trials and tribulations and hardships of the common man. They're only contemplating billionaire stuff like distrust for others or dangerous feelings that those without money are attempting to come and take theirs. And so imagine where this phobia eventually ends. But it's silly stuff. The billionaire is worried about someone trying to run a scam on them for some money, while the common man must sacrifice his body and his precious time in the fields or in the forest hunting that could be spent instead nurturing and spending time with loved ones. Therapist Clay Cockrell continues saying that there are few people in the world to whom they can actually relate to, which of course leads to a lack of empathy. And there we go, folks, a lack of empathy. Now, if you follow this channel, you know that I recently spoke about empathy in a video that I just did on the cremation of care ritual from the Bohemian Grove. I called the people who are in and have been in control of this world psychopaths, citing that they have no empathy for other people. And thanks to some modern day research, we now understand why. It's an acquired symptom, a symptom of the obscene wealth itself. And with these multi-generational monarchies, it begins with an obscenely privileged childhood. Can you imagine now? Hey, Randy, can you imagine now in these powerful dynastic monarchies that lasted 5 or 10 generations, say, can you imagine this phenomenon in cases like this? These people at this point wouldn't even know what the definition of the word empathy is. Could you imagine a 10th generation spoiled, privileged monarch that wanted something that he couldn't have? That wouldn't be an option, period. Period. This now psychopath king is going to take what he wants. After all, he's been told his whole life that he owns all of the land, the buildings, and the people in the realm. If the king can't have a person, he takes them. If a king couldn't have some neighboring landmass, he takes it. It's as simple as that. The final piece of this puzzle is to understand that these old, powerful monarchs are still around. That's true, Randy. That's very true. You're right. This is where that's part of it. Having everything, and the one time that you have that you can't have something that you want, a spoiled brat is going to throw a fit, aren't they? This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with spoiled brats, privileged. And that leads to the conclusion of this, is that the final piece of this whole thing is that you got to understand that these old powerful monarchs are still around. Not them, but their family, their proteges, their successors. And they're still holding vast amounts of power over us. It's just that nowadays they've made it so that they do their controlling in the shadows. Thank you. These controllers are a rung or two, a level or two removed from the faces that we see every day on our TV spouting the day's current controller narratives, like your politicians or your news people. Those folks are mere puppets of the old royal families. They're doing their bidding for a few pieces of silver. When we understand all of this, the current state of the world, the illogical policies pushing it all, the death, the destruction, the confusion, the carnage, and chaos, it all becomes much clearer. In fact, it seems to be the only thing that actually makes sense. The world's being controlled and has been being controlled but for thousands of years in my research by psychopaths who have absolutely zero regard for others' lives and only care about themselves and their great work. It's a dire situation. I think the only way out of it is to get the information to as many people as possible. It seems as though today you can see blatant crimes being committed right in front of your eyes, and those who are awake, like you guys listening and me, we can't do anything about it. We'll only be able to do anything about this, and this sounds crazy, we'll only be able to do anything about it when enough people are hip to what's going on. And that's not the way. Yeah, Randy says more power hungry than previous generations. Power is addictive. Each generation wants to leave their own legacy. Absolutely. And the ridiculousness of it will increase. The lavishness of the wealth will look at the old pharaohs with their pyramids. Of course, that's the official establishment story of the pyramids, which I'm not so sure of. But they were trying to outdo the previous one. Well, my pyramid's bigger. Mine's going to be bigger than yours. So yeah, great point. You're exactly right. Multiplies as the generations go, and they have less empathy if they ever had any as it goes. But to fix it, and it seems completely illogical to even say this, especially in the United States, but crimes are committed, but nobody can do anything about it. Think of it, but nobody can do anything about it until enough people know about it, or until enough people believe that these crimes are being committed. Because a lot of people know about it, but think that's a scam, or that's partisanship, or that's a Republican trick, so you got to have enough people be hip to what's going on before anything can be done about it. And it's sad. It's sick. I don't know what to do about it other than to just try and wake as many people up as possible. So that's why I'm trying to continue to put stuff out as often as possible. And it's a pain. I'm in a parking lot right now. So sometimes it's risky to do a live stream because you never know what in the hell might end up happening. Somebody walks up to the car, or somebody, who knows. But you got to do what you got to do. We got to get the word out. And one thing that I'm doing is, thank you, Sandra. That helps because I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself while I have you. I started a YouTube channel in 2019. Maybe it was early 2020. I think it was 2019. But I didn't start publishing until 2020, I think. I was mostly on the message boards, no social media or anything like that at the time. But I did get into the social media to push the YouTube channel. So I posted initially sometime in early 2020. Well, within 3 or 4 videos, I was hitting 20,000 views. I had no social media presence at all. So thank you. Yeah. You know, Randy, that's a problem with me sometimes is being too analytical. It's an unfortunate issue with today is that people seem to want bells and whistles to go with the information. You know, they can't just, thanks, Randy. They can't just take the information and decipher it. They got to have a bell and a whistle and some colors. And it's unfortunate. I don't have that. I don't have the ability to do that. And I'm not this real energetic guy who's going to make things fun. I'm usually just about the facts, and whatever I say, I like to back it up, and it kind of makes these presentations redundant, boring, dry. But I want to put out factual information, and I want it to be backed up. And I know you guys appreciate it because you guys are very intelligent people. You are the populace that Benjamin Franklin knew that we would have. He just thought there was a lot more of us. But there isn't. Yeah, skip the parsley. So when I first couple of videos, I don't know, I was hitting 20,000 views. People were sharing them and running them everywhere. And I didn't even have a Twitter presence. I had nothing at that point. I had just set one up right at the same time with the YouTube channel. So it was being picked up on its merits, not because I was popular already or some crap like that. So I don't think YouTube could believe it because I hit the subscriber limit. I think it was 500 at the time. Well surpassed that. The views well surpassed that. So COVID had just hit, and there I was eligible for monetization. And they put me in to verification or for the monetization, and it said it could take up to 60 days. Of course, it took 6 months, and I had to squeeze them a little bit, send them some emails before they even, I guess, got onto it, which made me very suspicious. Now, you could say COVID, but I mean, come on, these people are working remotely no matter what anyway. So, took them forever to get me monetized. Well, finally, I got monetized and things were going well. And then all of a sudden, all the videos started getting limited or demonetized completely. Then I started noticing the subscriber list. Tell me if any of you guys think this is funny or not. So every single day, and this happens even right now, I started to notice that my subscribers would be at a certain amount, just say 2,500 today. And then tomorrow I'd look and it would be down to, 24.97, 24.95. And then I'd put out a video, popped up in the feed. See, yeah. Well, YouTube quit doing that soon after. That's what Randy says. That's how he found me in 2020. YouTube was giving it to him as a recommendation, and then it stopped. That's what I'm getting at, Randy. I think that's what was going on. But with the subscriber changes, so then I'd put a video out and you'd always get a rush of subscribers every time you put out a new video, obviously probably because of the recommendation and just getting the exposure. So on days that I'd put a video out, you would see there'd be less loss of subscribers or maybe sometimes a small gain. And then immediately after the video wore off, a day later or whatever, there it goes. Subscribership down every single day. And I ended up going a year without doing any videos because of I got a Italian Mastiff, and she ruined my laptop, jumped up on the bed and broke the damn thing in half. Anyway, during that year time period, every single day you saw 2 or 3 subscribers lost every single day. Now, I don't think I've ever unsubscribed to somebody that I've subscribed to. Who would think to go in and say, I think I'm going to unsubscribe to this guy. Now, if they're pushing you through the feed too often and too much, maybe you get annoyed and you unsubscribe to somebody. But I don't think that was going on. As a matter of fact, Randy says soon after my videos started taking off, they never recommended them anymore. Yeah. Wow, 1 million likes. No kidding, Randy. Yeah, there's no doubt there's more subscribers, and there should be. I mean, how do you lose 3 days? People are not going in and unsubscribing every day. It's just not happening. I don't understand how they think we're this stupid. It just doesn't make much sense. And as far as a shadow ban is concerned, I'm sure that this never gets seen. These YouTube videos, they probably no longer get recommended. You probably have to, even if you're a subscriber, you probably have to go right to the page. I've tested it myself. I've typed in the title of some of yeah, I know, Sandra. I've typed in the title and, the Communist Takeover of America Part 2, Mainstream News Watcher. It doesn't even come up in the search results. So there's definitely something going on. It's unfortunate and it's sad. So, this is YouTube. Well, that's right. I was thinking this was Rumble. I was going to try and do a live stream on Rumble because I didn't think I could do YouTube. But I had to download Chrome browser because I use DuckDuckGo. And so now I'm able to do it. But yeah, Randy. So there's something going on. And now it's just so sad. I'll put out a video now and it might get 100 views in 3 or 4 days. I mean, that's sick. And I've got 2,500 subscribers. I mean, I know that isn't a whole lot, but yeah, I know, man. I'm gonna start doing this more often now that I know that I can. I'll what do you guys suggest? Probably put a post out saying that I'm gonna go live at a certain time. Would that be the way to do it? Yeah, Sandra, I'm not going to get disappointed. I've been through that. They've tried to demoralize me, but here I am. I'm talking to 5 people according to this app on YouTube right now. So, and I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day, whatever it takes. We got to wake people up, you guys. I know it sounds silly, but yeah, live is easier. That's the other thing. Um, I never thought I would do this live. I just didn't really think about wanting to have my face out there for the whole internet to see. Yeah, no edit. But then I gotta shave the beard, and I gotta make sure that my hat ain't dirty, and I gotta so there's some stuff that comes along with it. But I'm at the point where I just don't seem to care anymore about that kind of stuff. We've got something much more important to deal with here, as you guys can see. One of the things if you guys have noticed that I've been doing more often, I've been doing more content, but I've been hammering certain points, uh, about these new world orders that they continue to blow up and then resurrect the new ones. I keep hammering these bloodlines, these monarchs, because they're still in charge. These are the things that it's good for us, but people who are awake, but we have to find a way to get to these people that don't believe what their eyes are telling them. We got to find a way to get to these sheep. Sheep aren't going to understand these bloodlines. They're not going to understand. They're not going to believe it. They need to have something else. I just can't figure out how to approach these people to get through to them. And like I said, it's a terrible time to be around, because you can have crimes taking place right in front of your eyes in America, but nothing can be done. They can't be prosecuted until enough people know about them. Yeah. So you can't prosecute them until enough people know about it. I mean, what kind of world are we living in? But that's where we're at. Can't do it till enough people know about it. Now, understand, you're not just a majority in your thoughts. We are a large majority. We're probably a 65 to a 70% majority. So understand that. And I don't want to get too left and right, because I understand that that's just that dialectic, really. But this America First, that doesn't have to be Trump. This America First, we're 70, maybe even 75% of the populace. You got to understand that. You have to understand that through absolutely division. And you also have to understand that through Operation Mockingbird and control of all the newspapers starting in the 50s, branching into the actual creation via DARPA of social media, Facebook, Google, that they're able to, through their trending, what's trending, that's not trending, that's fake. Or your Google top searches, I'm going to type in Paul Pelosi. Oh, look, establishment sources all pop up as far as what occurred there with his lover. That's all fake. Those aren't the top choices. Between those Facebook and YouTube examples that I just gave you, they're controlling your reality. And Operation Mockingbird, through the news and the television media, your reality is controlled. And so with rigged elections and with the brainwashing, that's the problem, that there's still 25 or 30% that are so far brainwashed that I don't know what we're going to do with them. But to finish the point, what I was going to say is that don't be fooled. They create this reality in front of you and makes you feel like you're a minority. And you're not. Your opinions are not minority. They make you think that this LGBT stuff is a majority topic. It's not. They're making you think that race is a majority topic, Randy. It's not. Division. But they make you think it. And so, through controlling the reality, that's how they do it. We're probably 75% majority. Our opinions are probably 75% of us. All probably have these similar America First type of a ideology. But we have to break them down further. We got to get more than 75% of us on board for there to actually for there to be have something be done about anything. Prove me wrong. Why hasn't anything been done about anything right now? Not enough people know about it. So not enough people are bitching about it, up at arms about it. I mean, is that why? Is there nobody in a position of authority that can do it? They don't know about it? I mean, we can't go do something about it. What are we going to do? We can't go take arms up against the government. That's not going to happen. It's just not. No, you're not going to defeat the government. Joe Biden's right. So what are you going to do? Can't vote. You just got to wake every damn person up. Every fucking person you see. Right? Till at some point, everybody knows what's going on except the ones that are being paid to do the work of the controllers and the controllers themselves. Maybe at that point we could do something. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, how in the hell do you get out of this? I was speaking with somebody about the New World Order video. I think it's on YouTube. And I ended up telling End Times Navigation, I think is the guy's name, the commenter. And we had a little discussion. And I told him, I think the only way out of this is Jesus. All right, guys, I got to go. But until next time, I will see you then. And thank you, guys.